Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Miss Fierce here from the Fierce Trade House. So, guys, today what I want to do is just show you how I backtest pairs, and I'm going to be looking at, let's see what pair I can backtest. Let me say GBP, a pair that moves. Okay, so let me look at GBPCAD. Okay, and let me clear my charts. So, okay, first of all, before I say anything more, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What I'd really like to ask you is please destroy that like button. And you can also, by all means, click on the notifications bell so that anytime I post up any new content, you're immediately notified and you don't miss out on any of the fun stuff that I post on my channel. So that being said, like I said, we are back testing. So I'm not really going to go into details of my thought process in terms of how I get into the market, enter and exit trades, why I'm doing considering a buy or sell, because I've actually done a breakdown in a previous video where I talk about the 5 steps, my 5 rules that I actually consider before I enter the market or any trade live. So if you haven't watched that and you want to kind of better understand my strategy, please go and watch that. Now for this, I'm just going to try and do a very short back testing exercise, which I like to do on the weekends for me to prepare for the week and just to keep on refining or reminding my brain about how I trade and how I look at the charts. So I'm really hoping this is going to be helpful. And if it is, at the end, feel free to put a thumbs up. I really appreciate your support. Anytime we do that, of course, you guys know that YouTube algorithm loves us a bit more and helps our content to be more visible to more people. So please keep on liking and appreciating my posts. I really, 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 really will love you even more for that. But yes, obviously, I love you guys either way. So yes, so we are looking at GBP CAD, and I just want to take this back, maybe because we are back testing, maybe to, let's say, this is maybe let's see, let me go in the 1 hour. Maybe I want to look at it maybe from the beginning of the month tentatively. So let's see. So randomly, I've just chosen a time, right? Let me go. So this is around 4th November. So beginning of this month. So it's recent. Now, obviously, this backtesting is in hindsight, someone will argue and say, but Leon, you looked at the chart before and blah, blah, blah. You may know where the price is going. But guys, I just want you guys to kind of see my thought process in practice in terms of how, because this is how I look at the market, whether I'm backtesting or I'm actually in a live session, okay, or I'm trying to analyze it for my signals group, okay. So yeah, so please just trust that despite hindsight, that hindsight is actually good, okay, for the purpose of this video, but it's actually practical. So we are looking at I usually like to start on the weekly time frame because I want to ascertain the direction of the market. Okay, again, go watch my video on 5 rules that I use. But I'm just going to quickly be going through this as I analyze this current market as we are now. So as we can see with GBP CAD on the weekly, we've been in a range. Okay, this has been the high of 2018. We haven't scaled that high since in the last 3 years. We attempted to do that last year, but we hardly got anywhere to that high. And we kind of got to the supply zone at that level, and then we dropped, and then we continued to consolidate. Someone would argue that we've also been kind of on a downtrend, but really on the long term, on the higher time frame, this is really a sideways range. Okay, I often like to say I don't really like trending sideways trending markets. I mean, it's really up down up down up down kind of movement. I really don't like it. I like pairs that just move up, like in one direction for a while and another direction. I mean, it makes it a bit more predictable, not predictable, but a bit more. Sometimes trending markets you can get stuck in this sideways up and down moves, and you can get stopped out very easily, especially with a GBP pair like GBP CAD, which is actually quite volatile. Okay, maybe not as volatile as a GBP yen or GBP USD and so on, but still being a GBP pair, quite volatile. So we are looking at this on the weekly. We've established that we are ranging sideways. We have been also, we can say and argue that we've actually been trending up since 2019, but about last year, we went into this sideways range, okay? So I'm still thinking that there's a possibility that despite this long range that we've been in, stuck in, GU is trying to push up. So in my mind, I'm possibly, because I'm a breakout trader and I'm a trend trader, my bias is I want to buy this market. I want to look at the potential to buy. I'd be looking for buys. No matter how long it'll take me, I'll be looking for a nice buy entry, and because I want to catch a couple of pips to the upside. Okay, anywhere between 100 to 200 pips, that would be awesome, right? So now we go on the daily, because yes, I look at the daily as well, just to kind of see, okay, what am I saying? Is it making sense? And what we are seeing is GBP just took out this previous weekly low or daily low here of October. And in October, and kind of formed some liquidity zones below here. So we have a lot of liquidity downside. So there's also a high chance that we may attempt to take out the liquidity before we push to the upside. So that's one thing. We have demand zones below here and liquidity that is untested, and chances are we may actually, I can't say it's untested, but because I think a lot of it has been mitigated. Let me see. And we retested this zone, and now we are pushing up. And okay, so I think we've kind of mitigated most of the demand zones. Okay, but we may see manipulation of the market because of the liquidity lying below here. So we may see the manipulation of the market downside because of the liquidity lying downside. So there's a key zone here on 1.63680 of 2019 that there's potential for price to come back there. But for now, in all honesty, I'm still kind of thinking maybe we are still buying. But also what we want to observe is that we have also been breaking structure to the downside. So what happened here is we took out previous highs. This was in August. And then we came here, retested that previous high. And I'm sure if we went on the 4-hour, 1 hour, would have been seeing maybe supply zone here, and that's why we actually pushed that to that supply zone, and then we dropped. And as we were dropping, we were just taking out structure, taking out, breaking structure, retesting structure, continuing down. So when I look at it now like that, from that daily perspective, there's also now that, what I'm trying to say, that there's liquidity down, so there's possibility that markets might actually trend lower before we trend up. Okay, so that is that. And so this is the daily. So let me go. I like to look at the 8-hour. Don't ask me why, guys. I just found myself. I think I saw somebody one day doing the same, and I was like, let me look at that time frame. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, let me also use it, and it works. So I mean, there's no hard and fast rules about what time frames. All we are trying to establish is what is a higher time frame bias, and then why are we, when you go on the lower time frame, what are we looking for? So like I said, I look for break of structure, I look for supply and demand zones, I look for the candlestick structure as well, I look at the order flow structure as well. So we can see the order flow is down, the candlestick structure is also down, and as we are moving down, we are actually mitigating supply zones. We're moving lower, trending lower, forming lower highs, and yeah, just looks like we are continuing downside. So let me play this out. Maybe I look at the 4-hour. Maybe I can get a better grip on this. So on the 4-hour, I'm seeing a nice untested demand zone here. And so, possibility that we could push into this and then push up. But let me go on a lower time frame because I want to refine, I would love to refine my entry. And so this tells me a bit more. And so I would actually refine this to, let's say, actually, I would refine this further, let's say, to this zone here and, somewhere here. So I'm actually looking for buys. I would like for, GCAD to drop and then push up because honestly, I'm still bullish. I'm seeing that we've taken out this zone here, this high here. Okay, we've taken out this high here. I'm just drawing it out so that you guys can see when I say taking out high. I've taken out this high here. I've taken out. So there's a lot of liquidity here that this price has just pushed through it. But I feel like we've left some untested demand zones below here and price will probably want to come down at some point and take that out. Whether it does that now, who knows? Yeah, but that's my bias. And then if it does get to this zone, I'll probably be targeting these highs up here for price to actually come back to. Okay, so let me first go on the 5 minutes and I just want to show you guys this one trade. What are we seeing? When I look now on the lower time frame, I'm even seeing much more, we've kind of, let me see. So kind of moving this, still in buy territory, But now the question is, where are we buying from? Okay, usually that's the challenge. That's where we as traders try to figure ish out. And I'm looking at this, I just want to refine this further so that I can put a precise entry. So sorry, my machine is trying to hang on me. Still looking for buys, but I'm just trying to mark up my entry level. Okay, so I've refined it further. Okay, so now that I kind of have an idea, are we moving? Are we not moving? What is happening? What is happening? What is happening? Literally, guys, when I upgrade my machine, oh God, I can't wait because imagine trading with a machine that kind of just drags, like what my machine is doing right now, dragging me behind when I just want to bring this zone here so that I can see it and I can appreciate my screen a bit better on a wider scale. But yo, so yeah, thank you guys for being patient as I do this crawling business. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So yes, we are in buy territory. Okay. And I'm just like now thinking, what are we trying to do? Okay, that's basically what I'm trying to figure out. So my take is I would love for GCAD to drop here at some point. Okay, but as you can see, price rallied up, took out this initial high, and we're kind of in a Wyckofian kind of, I think, accumulation, could be a mix of distribution phase. Okay. So let's see. Let's play this out because I'm just looking for that one trade. Okay, I'm looking for that one trade. I'm not trying to be rich with multiple trades. So what we are seeing is now we are beginning to scale lower. Okay, we took out some previous lows here. We attempted to do that here as well as we pushed up. And now we're just retesting these zones. Okay, I can't go on the 1 minute or the 2 minute because on a back-tested replay mode, I can't do that. Okay, I can't do that. So I can't maybe refine this. But what's happening right now is price is pushing lower. Now, I'm not even thinking of sells until I see a clear break to the downside. So that hasn't happened. There's even not much room to just jump into a sell right now. So I'm not waiting for a sell. I'm looking for buys. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do, and hopefully we'll get this right, I'm just going to put a pending order here. Hopefully we don't get stopped out. And then I'm going to put my stop loss just below this previous low. Just here. I could put a tight stop loss and put it just here at 5 pips. But to be safe, I will put it at, let's say, 9 pips, and then I will, assume we're gonna take out previous highs. Let me see. And possibly, maybe that's what an R&R of 8. There's possibility for more, okay, but I'm not pushing it. Okay, so an R of 8.76, 9 pips, 80 pips stop loss. Target. So will it play out? I don't know, guys. I don't know. It could refuse to play out. We could wait here staring at this thing forever and we just got stopped out. So we just got stopped out. So now, okay, this is one loss that I've taken, right? And I'd look at this and be like, okay, so what really happened? Remember what I told you guys? Let's just go back on, let's say, a 4-hour time frame. Remember what I told you guys? There was liquidity lying down here, and I actually said that there would be some manipulation that would try and attempt to take out this liquidity. So clearly, that's exactly what has happened. So let's just go back on the 5 minute, and that's okay. So we are down by 9 pips. Okay, there's potential to actually retest a previous supply zone down here. Okay, the daily is continuing to look a bit bearish, so let me just look at that. You see this bearish candle here, so there's potential to just come back to this level and continue dropping. Okay, so I'm actually thinking, okay, so we are still here. Very strong break of structure to the downside. So we are down 9 pips. Okay, so I'm just gonna write -9. I'm just gonna be like, okay, we just took a hit there. So loss is -9 pips. Okay, cool. We down. It sucks. Okay, it does suck. So let me just mark this here so that I know what's happening. Man. So fast L. So like, oh my God, I'm down 9 pips. What do I do? What do I do? So we're here just waiting. And we are continuing to break structure. Okay. And I'm not going to chase this market. Okay. Because I know that we are at a liquidity zone. So I'm not going to chase this market. I'm just going to wait for clear trend. Because right now we've missed this move. So I don't want to start running after it. Okay. Now we are still moving. And we are possibly beginning to show some, maybe some accumulation. I don't know. Okay, now when this is happening, I'm just like, okay, Lillian, what's happening here? I'm just like, what? So let's play this out a bit. Okay, so this for me is a potential interesting zone. So I'm just gonna be like, I just wanna be like, I'm just gonna keep this because I don't want to take another loss. I'm just gonna keep my stop loss tight. And I'm like, if we come back to that zone, I'm still targeting same RR, maybe higher, maybe what is this, 16R? And we're in consolidation. So we're not really moving. So we've taken another L there. Damn, this sucks. So this is another 7 pips. So let me just, and guys, this is a real situation, right? I'm still looking for buys. So 7 pips. So now I am 16 pips down. Okay. This is possibly an accumulation zone. Okay. So I'm just like, yo, we are definitely in an accumulation. We took out this previous low, we came back, retested that low, and are now scaling higher highs. So let's see. So now, this is interesting. We've broken a zone there. So I'm like, wait. Let's see, guys. Let's see. We're just waiting and waiting. I'm sure you guys are like, this chick, man. So I'm just keeping my previous low there. So I'm going to keep this tight again, 4 pips, because I'm already 16 pips down, man. I don't intend to like, yo, lose some more there. So yet again, got stopped out. This is another 4 pips. No worries. Okay, no worries. I go on the higher time frame and I'm like, so what is GU now doing? I have to look at it again from a different perspective. So it's possible now we are trying to push lower. So there's a bit of a shift here. We broke structure at this zone. We broke this low. We broke this low. So possibly price is now shifting lower. So that's a good thing of looking at the higher time frame. Okay, whatever your bias is, just look at the higher time frame. Anytime you begin to see a shift in structure. So let me just go back to the 5 minutes. So we have taken another L. Dang, these L's ain't pretty, man. Not good for my street cred. Not good for my street cred. Okay, so 3 losses in a row. And guys, this happens. You can get 3 losses in a row. Okay, some of you may argue, but your stop loss is too high. I'm like, no. I mean, it's too tight. I'm like, guys, come on. My stop loss is not tight. So we are waiting. So change of structure, break of structure. Okay, that's basically what we are seeing. Break of structure here. Okay, so I'm like, this is an interesting zone up here. So we might retest it in future. So I'll just mark it out for future notification. You know, kind of like, okay, this is where we're coming from. But we are now bearish on the short term. Okay, on the short term. Long term, I'm still bullish. short term, there's been a kind of a shift. So I'm now beginning to look at potential sells. And what I want to do is just put a potential sell order maybe somewhere here. And then we're just like, yo, 11R. And I am putting my take profit where? If I look left, let's go the daily. Yeah, I think that's okay. That's fine. That's an 11R. So let's go back on the 5-minute. Let's play it out. Let's play this out. So something interesting happened here. We got triggered and then we dropped how many pips? We dropped about 30 pips, right? 28 pips. And then we pushed up. So do you guys understand why I was saying the bias is up? And that's why, so yes, I've gotten my 28 pips here, but I traded against my bias. So what I should have been doing was looking for the change to the upside, because on the higher time frame, we're still buying. We're still buying. And what is happening is as we push up, we are taking out previous lows. We push up, there's a liquidity grab that happened here and continue to push up. Okay. So I could say this, we got our 28 pips here. Okay. So 28 pips. So right now we were 16, 20 pips down. So now we're 8 pips up with this win. Okay. Still not awesome, because I want to do a high RR and, so 3 losses, 1 win. And right about now, I'd be like, okay, let's see. I'll be looking for, potential buys down here because there's a demand zone here that's untested. And I'm like, I think we may revisit it. This is what I can't go on the 1 minute. I would have loved to refine it. I really would have loved to refine it. But let's say I put it on the 50%. So let me just take my fib. So I just refined that entry. And now I'm doing like 13 pips, about 10 pips. So my RR is what? Is 13. Man, I gotta win something. And that's why some pairs you won't get the trade immediately. You might have to wait, you might have to take some L's. So now we've taken out this high. Not very impressive here. A lot of consolidation, which, like I said, I don't like trading consolidating markets. So just hold on. Remember, this is still at a buy target zone for me. So now what I want to do is I want to short this position here and put my high just above the previous high there. I mean, this is me risking some more. There's a supply zone there, so I'm like, we may just be ready to drop, but let's see. So that's a risk reward of 17, 5 pips stop loss. And, you know, so we triggered, guys. Will we drop to target below here? Yes. So let me pause there. So guys, let's just look at this again. So we triggered down here, okay? If you look at this closely, we pushed lower. I put my stop loss here. Sorry, my sell stop order here, okay? Price pushed up, did its thing, took out liquidity, and then came back, triggered. We almost did get stopped out because my stop loss was very tight. It's 5 pips. So you can see we came down, we came here, retested again, and then pushed down. Now, the reason why I can't, if this was a live trade, of course, price would not be moving as fast, okay? But let me give you some tips on why this is a good trade, okay, just for your understanding. So price was still pushing up, yeah, and I put my pending order here, my let's say my sell stop pending order, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait, right? Now, why I was looking at sells is because the price broke structure here, then it broke structure here again and pushed lower, okay? So for me, I was like, you know what? If price breaks structure again below this zone, then we are definitely still going to be bearish, okay? So I then put my entry here at the supply zone, okay? And then I put my stop loss just above this previous high here, and that was it. Then in terms of the entry, if you were to do an entry here, okay, possibly this was an early entry. You could have entered on the retest of this zone. So it pushed down, pushed up, and then retested again. So this could have been now the entry. You would have entered on this candle as it's breaking to the downside, or maybe this candle here, this one here that pushed lower. This would have been the first, or possibly this one. When price pushed down, this would have been the first candle you'd have taken here, because I would have entered here, then would have been in a pullback of, let's say, 4 pips. And then now you could have waited for this retest, okay, of this zone again. And you could have even, if you had waited for the retest, your entry would have even been higher. It would have been around 1.68543, about 2 pips above my entry, and then the drop down. So I just want to zone in on this so that you guys can see, okay, what has really happened. So price pushes up, right? Okay, and then triggers my sell stop on its way down. Okay, and let's say even if this was a sell limit, price pushed up and then now came down and then now triggered the sell limit. Okay, so if I put a limit order, it would have triggered possibly on this candlestick here. If I put a sell stop order, it triggered here. Okay, then it dropped. And if I was to even refine this, I would have entered on the retest on this supply zone. So this would have been my initial trigger on the sell limit order. Now, I hope that makes sense. So, but what we see, price dropped all the way and tapped my 50% zone. It even went past my 107 pips and it tapped my 50% zone and even retested. Now, this is an RR of 18.79. and 107 pips. Now, this date is 10th November. And we started trying to look for money on my first loss was around here on the 4th of November. So between 4th and 10th, okay, so 4th November was on a Thursday. Okay, so I took an L on a Thursday, and then there was the weekend. So 4th of November, I took 2 losses. 5th November, I took, so Thursday and Friday, this is also 5th November. So Thursday and Friday, the 2 days, I took 3 losses and 1 win. So on Friday, my second trade of the day was positive, right? And then I placed this order that took forever to trigger. Okay, it triggered on the 10th of November. So please note that there was an order here. Okay, and then there was this sell order. So these are 2 trades that have triggered. Now, this initial trade of 8th November, which is a Monday, the next Monday after this Friday, it triggered on the 10th, 2 days later, which is fine. So let me see how many pips that was before it came back and retested. That was like about exactly 43, let's say 40 pips. So I'm just gonna not say 43, I'll say 40 pips. So there was a win there of a pending order that I placed of 40 pips. And then there was this big win on this pending order here of 107 pips. Okay. Win of 107 pips. So if we look at it in total, yeah, let's just look at it in total. In total, this is how many trades. So in total, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades in a span of a week, because 10th October is on Wednesday of the following week. So from Thursday of the previous week to Wednesday, that's about 5, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 trading days. Okay, so the summary of this is a week of trading, right? Summary is, so the trading summary of the week, 5 days, which is 5 days of trading, is 7 trades. For starters, 7 trades. Out of those 7 trades, guys, I lost 3 trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, these are 6 trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 trades. Actually, it's 6 trades. 6 trades on GCAD, okay, in that 1 week. Out of the 6 trades, 3 were losses, 3 took L's. And those losses totaled to 9 plus 7 plus 4, that is 20 pips. Okay, so minus 20 pips. And then on the 10th, we took 2 trades, both buy. One was a sell, one was a buy stops, sell stops, the limit, whatever. That's 147 pips. Okay, in the next 147 plus 28, okay, pips. That's 100. So 147 plus 28 pips is about, let me just take up my calculator because I am not a mathematician mentally. 147 plus 28 is 175. So the 3 wins, we did 175 pips. So our average win was 175 minus the losses, 20. That's 155 pips. Now, someone would argue, will you wait for the 107 pips? Maybe, maybe not. So you can scale in and even say you take it at 50 or at 40 and run your stop loss in profit. It doesn't really matter. However you want to play it. I'm just trying to give you guys a scenario. So the average is 155 pips. My win rate is just 50%. So I don't have a high win rate. It's 50%. Out of 6 trades, I lost 3. I gained 3 in a span of a week. And you guys have seen how this is how I would look at the market. Okay. I take some L's and I'm like, okay, that's an L. I look for another opportunity. I take another L. Some I even missed. You've seen some trades that I missed earlier. Okay. So, guys, this is basically how, in as much as we are back testing, this is how I look at the market. This is how I trade the market. This is how I analyze from high time frame. Even when I thought we were still buying and I was, I wanted to buy, I had to go on the daily to look at if anything had shifted. And I noted that the next week, because you'll notice this is the next week, this was the previous week we were buying. The next week, the market shifted and we started selling from the 8th. So hence why now I was like, okay, let me start looking for sales, especially when I saw the break of structure. And since I had my pending order from the previous week, I just left it because I was like, this is a zone that price is actually going to come and retest. And it actually came and retested perfectly. Okay. Again, guys, this is in hindsight. So you'll be in argument and saying, yeah, Lillian, this is easy. Yes, but if you keep on back testing, okay, and that is the purpose of this video today. If you keep back testing your strategy over and over and over again, and you keep improving your edge, because trading is about your improving your winning edge. Okay, so yes, I got losses, but my losses were minimal. I kept them at a minimal, and because my losses were at a minimal and my risk to reward was high, and that's why I keep on telling people, always look at your risk to reward as opposed to your pips in terms of how many pips you want to make. Okay. And obviously, you're also looking at where you're going to get into the market and where you're going to get out realistically based on your analysis. So I really hope this recording or video makes sense. If it doesn't, please let me know as well. If it does, please put a thumbs up. Please don't put a thumbs down. Let YouTube love me more. Yeah. So, but thank you so much, guys. And yes, feel free to comment if you want me to back test another pair, or maybe do a more refined video on my strategy. Feel free to let me know as well, and I plan to do that in a future video. Thank you, guys, and see you soon.